श्री 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 राधा माधव अष्ट सखी की जय। पंच तत्व भगवान की जय। नृसिंहदेव की जय। Hare Krishna, very, very warm welcome to everybody for this morning Shiva Mangalarati. And as always, on behalf of my leader, thank all those people who came and did the Japa service nicely. So we always move on to the next wonderful part of the day, morning session, that is discussing the Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, very short kirtan and we'll move on to Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Tiravanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari. Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari Gaura Hari. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Anantadev, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jayo Anantadev. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. So we're discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, titled Disappearance of Lord Krishna. So we will go to today's verse. Okay. So very nicely, the previous speakers have been sharing in the verse 4, Gopal Krishna Prabhu said it, and very aptly, Sumukha Prabhu in verse 5 told us how to, change these bad habits. We being in the end of the year, calendar year, told how to, instead of rejecting them, replace them with good habits. So today we are moving to verse number 6. Actually, what we'll do is 6 and 7 does not have Srila Prabhupada translation, so we will quickly go through and then discuss a bit on verse number 8. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutirade Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Verse 6, 1, 14, 6. Yudhishthiro Vacha Sampristito Dvarakayam Jishnur Didikshaya Jatum cha Punya Shlokasya Krishnasya cha Vishestitam. Maharaj Yudhishthir said to his younger brother Bhimasena, I sent Arjuna to Dwaraka to meet his friends and to learn from the personality of God Krishna of his program of work. Verse number 7. Gata Saptadhanumasa Bhimasena Tavanuja Ayati Kshayava Hetor Naham Veda Idamanjasa. Since he departed, 7 months have passed and yet he is not returned. I do not know factually how things are going on there. Now, verse 8. Api devarsina distat sakalayam upastita yadatmano agam akridam bhagavan utsiskriskati. Translation, purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation, is he going to quit his earthly pastimes as Devarshi Narada indicated? Has the time has already arrived? So this is what Yudhishthira Maharaj is thinking. Now, this purport is a long one. We will take it as an when we go through, okay? If it's okay with all of you. So we all know the context, what is happening, okay? Lot of bad omens, as the last word said. Yudhishthira Maharaj is concerned, and yeah. Before even I start this verse, because this is so technical and so much more philosophical, I do not forget to tell my prayers. Soma Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandjala Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hare Krishna. Firstly, again, a warm welcome to everybody for this discussion. As I said, it's very technical. Sometimes wonder how I'm going to share this, but as always, pray to dear Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas assembled here. And my very, very specific thanks to Mathurapati Prabhu for giving me this opportunity. As every time we discuss this, we are getting purified. Thank you. So, many expansions are given here. Plenary expansions are given here by Prabhupada. So, this, to understand this little philosophical and in a way we can say sometimes people misunderstand or controversially they discuss about these subjects of Krishna. We will just take a little bit of reference from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Adi Leela, 2117 specifically, there is a wonderful translation and a purport. Siddhanta baliye chitana kare alasa ihi ta Krishna lage shudrida manasa. See this translation. A sincere student should not neglect the discussions of such conclusions. Which one we are going to discuss? Considering them as controversial, for such discussions strengthen the mind. Thus, one's mind becomes attracted to Krishna. It's so wonderful, the purport is also. He says, Srila Prabhupada writes saying that there are many students who, despite reading the Bhagavad Gita, misunderstand Krishna because of imperfect knowledge and conclude him to be ordinary historical, person. Okay. So what is the subject we are discussing? These are all called the Mausala Leela. Okay. That is Krishna departing, that is leaving the planet and going back to his abode, or, entire Yadu Vamsa getting destroyed. So these topics can be very easily misunderstood by many general public. Okay. In fact, someplace I read that some people think that Krishna is in Narakaloka going through some karmic reactions for destroying the Yadu community and things like that. Absolutely misunderstood Lord. From their own mental concoction, they are saying. But what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Janma karma chame divyam. Okay. Evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktva deha punarjanma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. Very clearly is saying that someone who knows my transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, what happens to them? When they leave the body, they do not take birth again in this material world. Very clearly. And he says they attain my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So we should be one should be very, very particularly careful to understand the truth about Krishna. It could be because of laziness, one does not know Krishna conclusively, could be misguided by the cult of devotion. And sometimes some people like to declare themselves as advanced devotees and imitate some transcendental symptoms or, and think that they are liberated souls. Okay. So what should we do to not get misguided? Very simple. Okay, let's see what happens if you do not do. If you do not hear from bona fide sources, this happens. If you do not hear from acharyas like Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, definitely this happens. And most importantly, we should read Bhagavad Gita as it is. This is what will happen. You will get bewildered. You will not understand some of the secrets because they are revealed by acharyas. Okay. And Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, in the very beginning itself, he takes four verses. Okay. He says, first is, we all know it's a very famous verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. Okay. In that verse, he says, what happens? Why he gives the reasons why he comes. Okay. Reasons for his appearance. Immediately in the next verse, there is Paritrayana Sadhunam. That is, how does he accomplish this mission? How does he annihilate the miscreants and re-establish his principles? So he says, I appear again millennium after millennium. And in the previous chapter itself, in the third chapter itself, is Utristya Turi Ime Loka. What does he say? How do I do this? By establishing Varna and Ashrama systems. And most importantly, Prabhupada says how important is role model. Okay, so we all know this very famous verse. Krishna says, Yad yad yatarishishtheshtas tattat evataro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastat anuvartate. What happens? Whenever a great man performs, common man follows. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Right? So, when Prabhupada writes in the next section, okay, that first of all, next section, Prabhupada gives all the plenary portions of the Lord. He, namely, Shankarshana, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Narayana. And then he talks about appearance in every 24 hours of Brahma's day. Okay. Or the lapse of 864 lakh billion years. Okay. So now this is what we'll try and understand today. Okay. Now this is what is called a routine Krishna's food, right? Krishna Shaya. So how we should understand, I recollected a class which I heard through from Bhakti-Rasamrita Maharaj very, very early days. And I was so happy that I had written some points and I could share it with you all. This is primarily referring to Madhya Leela, Madhya Leela, 20th chapter, where the title of that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructing Sanatana Goswami in the science of absolute truth. Okay. We have to take shelter of that because it's so beautifully Kaviraj Krishnaraj Goswami explains in that how the Nitya Leela of Supreme Lord happens. We'll try and go, share that so that you all can also. Can someone confirm we can see this?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you.
The black box up. Now it's there.
Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhu, now we can able to see. No, okay. Prabhu, again the black mark is coming.
Now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So it says, Nitya Leela Krishna re Sarva Shastra Kaya Bujite na Pare Leela Kema Nitya Haya. See this translations. Descriptions of Krishna's eternal pastimes are in all the revealed scriptures, but one cannot understand how they are continuing eternally. So this is the beauty. Just by going through these verses, you can make out. Okay. So here it says, let me give an example. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, he's teaching us by example, by which people can understand Lord Krishna's eternal pastimes. Okay. An example can be found in the zodiac. Let's see what it is. Okay. 87. Now, the sun moves across the zodiac day and night and crosses the oceans between 7 islands, one after the other. Okay. Rati dine hase sasti dana parimana tina sahasra chayastada palak dharamana. So, see this, he's saying how, according to Vedic astronomical calculation, the rotation of the sun consists of 60 dandas and divided into 3,600 palas. So now you all have to start imagining this, a clock, right? How does the clock needle move? From 12, it keeps moving like this. So it says it consists of 60 dandas. Okay. And then it's divided into 3,600 palas. Okay. Now, see how beautiful, how wonderful is this. Suryodaya haite shasti palak kramadaya se eka danda aste danda praharahaya. So, this is a little bit technical. it's a little bit astronomical calculation, so it is it is a little bit of mathematical also. Just try and focus on this. The sun rises in steps consisting of 60 palas. Now 60 palas equal to one danda, okay, and 8 dandas complete one prahara. Now one prahara means a day and night, so prahara means 4 in a day and 4 in the night, okay. So sun, what it does, it actually again raises after 8 praharas, okay. So the day and night are divided, that's what I said. It's into 8 praharas, 4 belonging to the day, 4 belonging to the night. After 8 praharas, the sun again rises. Now let's go to the next verse. Couple of verses, but very interesting. Okay. Now, see this. Just as there is an orbit for the sun, there is an orbit for Krishna's pastime, which are manifested one after the other. During the lifetime of 14 Manus, this orbit expands through all the universes and gradually returns. Thus, Krishna moves with his pastimes throughout all the universes, one after the other. Okay. Now, see this. Now, I wanted to just take some time and so you all understood that I gave an example of Krishna. I mean, imagine a clock, right? The clock. So if suppose Krishna starts moving from 12 o'clock, I mean, it keeps glowing different Brahmandas, he goes and comes back. So we know that in Kali Yuga, he comes after the 7th Manvantara and after the 28th Chatur Yuga, Divya Yuga, he appears again, which is the next day of Brahma. So you all, I'm sure, know the basics, but just going through for clarity's sake, one Chaturuga is fully 43,20,000 years. Now 71 Chaturyugas make one Manvantara and 14 Manvantaras or Manus there in a day of Brahma. Okay. So which means Lord appears after 1,000 Chaturyugas. So which Brahmanda he goes, when we don't know. But however, thanks to Acharyas, we know that after the 7th Manvantara, 28th Chaturuga, that Dwapara Yuga, he comes. Okay. This way he, in every Brahmanda, his Leela is happening. Okay. Now we'll go back to where we were referring from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishna remains within the universe for 125 years and enjoys his pastime both in Vrindavana and Dwaraka. Okay. So, yeah. This one is so beautiful. See, okay, before this, okay. So as I said, we know that he's in, we said we don't know in which Brahmanda what is happening, right? Okay. But you all know that Krishna's got, if you have to really divide his pastimes, appearance, Krishna's appearance, his childhood, Pavagada, and they say, right, Kishora. So if you see appearance, childhood, boyhood, and youth. So all this has to be manifest. Like, so the moment it appears, he has to beginning the killing of Putana, okay, and then he right up to the end, which is your Mausala Leela, right, and the annihilation of Yadu dynasty. Okay, all these pastimes are in a routine. Please understand everything. Say, suppose it is 12 o'clock here, he moves to from. I mean, I'm just using the clock for understanding. He moves to the next one. So here Balya Leela happened. Here appearance will happen. Here then he goes into Balya Leela. Okay, then he goes to the third appearance comes here. Here Balya Leela comes, and then the third one, boyhood Leela comes. So as and when he keeps moving, this keeps changing, right? So entire circle, then everything changes. All the 4 Leelas keep on happening like that, right? So here this particular verse says, the cycle of his pastimes turns like a wheel of fire. Thus Krishna exhibits his pastime one after the other in every universe. Okay, just last one you see. Janma, Balya, Pavganda, Kishora, Prakasha, Putana, Vada, Hira, Kari, Maulas, Mausalatana Vilasa. That means Krishna's pastimes, appearance, childhood, boyhood, youth, all manifested beginning from the beginning killing of Putana and extending right up to Mausala Leela, the annihilation of Yadu dynasty. All these pastimes are rotating everywhere in this universe, right? Continues. This is happening Nitya. Okay. There is not even one moment you can say it's not happening. All these are given in Vedas and Puranas. It says these are all happening, confirmed. Okay. So I'll give you that also. See, since Krishna's pastimes are taking place continuously at every moment, some pastime is existing in one universe or the other. Consequently, these pastimes are called eternal by Vedas and Puranas, right? We'll go through the next one. Here you see, what does he say? Vibhu Krishna Same, Goloka Golodhame, Vibhu Krishna Same. So the spiritual abode known as Goloka, which is pasturing land for Surabhi cows, is so as powerful and opulent as Krishna. By the will of Krishna, the original Goloka and Goloka Dhams are manifested with him in all universes, right? So one last one we will. Okay. The eternal pastimes of Krishna are continuously taking place in the original Goloka Vrinda. These pastimes are gradually manifested within the material world in each and every Brahmanda. Okay. So we will, so this is the Krishna's spool. You all understood? The Krishna's spool, that is, like I use the clock. Thanks to Kaviraj, actually Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had explained this sun example, and Srila Prabhupada is quoting in the last verse in the purport. So this entire movement, we need to understand it as, like how the orbit is there. Krishna also continuously moves like this from one to another, one to another. It's a very routine spool, okay? And unlike sun, which has got its limitation, Krishna doesn't have any limitation. Krishna is standing and this earth is rotating, whereas Krishna can move anytime, right? But he's got this, it's called a Krishna spool. So entire Brahmanda, another 60 dandas. This kind of things keeps on happening, right? Which means to say, sometimes there is an appearance. There it will be only appearance, leelas will be happening. Then when he moves, the childhood pastime will start in the other place. Okay? So these things continuously keeps happening. Wonderful explanation this is. So this rotation is, as I said, was explained initially by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Prabhupada is quoting that the sun moving across this. So Krishna's appearance and disappearance in innumerable universes is just like the sun appears in. So when we say sun is come and sun is set, right? So it all is our perspective. So if the sun is here and we are here, so we will feel, oh, sun is shining. And the moment it goes down, it becomes dark, but we know that sun is there appearing, right? It's still shining. So the same way, similarly, Krishna pastimes also seem to be appearing and disappearing, continuously existing in any one Brahmanda or the other. Thus, all Krishna Leelas are present simultaneously throughout, right? Just because our limited senses, we cannot appreciate it, we cannot understand it. Therefore, Krishna's eternal pastimes are very difficult to understand. So that is why, just for our sake, for Kali Yuga's sake, we should try and understand by taking the example of the sun. Okay, and the beauty is this routine spool. Everything is eternal. Whether you take Rupa, the form, the Nama, the names, the Dham, the Krishna's abode, Krishna's gunas, the qualities, Leelas, pastimes, and even his Parshad, all his associates are eternal. Okay, so just because he came in Dashavatara, he does not die. I mean, he doesn't finish it and he goes away. Or Krishna came in here, he got killed by a hunter. No, we cannot call it as he died. So this eternity, to understand this eternity, in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 31st chapter, there is 12th shloka, very strong reference I could get from that lecture, is that it says Krishna in fact bought his son of his guru back from the planet of the Lord of Death, right? And then he gave ultimate protection. He's telling, Sukadeva Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, he saved you. You were being burnt by Brahmastra of Ashwatthama. Okay, and in Concord, even Lord Shiva, who that agent of death, okay, and he sent even Jara directly to Vaikuntha in the same human body. So, do you think such a personality cannot able to protect himself? So beautiful this verse was. Okay, so there are some many leelas are there which we all have probably heard many times. All have displayed superhuman feats, right? Krishna, if you see birth, first of all, right from birth, you can see his came with 4 hands, decked with jewels, hair. How do you think this is possible? Or you take immediately killing of Putana, sucked the life air, such a young age, and absolutely undisturbed. All, so very wonderfully did it as a Leela. Yeah? And then how can we forget this beautiful Leela of showing, opening his mouth and showing the entire Brahmanda to Yashoda Maya. Yeah? So see here, Putana and Yashoda Maya, no? So when Krishna keeps, moving from different, Putana has to actually leave this place and go to the other planet to perform that Leela. But not so the case of Yashoda Maya and Krishna. Yashoda Maya is here, she will be there also, the same. Such is the wonderful, rasa of Krishna's, magic, or what we call it as Krishna's Leelas. Okay, so he showed that. Then how did he dance on a slippery heads of a deadly snake? Do you think it was normally possible? Lifting Govardhan. Anyone who's walked Govardhan understands 21 kilometers, and for full 7 days he was holding in a small finger on the left hand. How could he expand himself in Rasa Leela to dance with each and every gopi? Do you think this was humanly possible? A normal person, do you think we can do it? Expanding in Dwaraka for 16,108 queens. It keep on going. Even the last which Prabhupada mentions here is Virata Rupa. Even that is not a normal feat. That's why he says, if someone who does not, even after all that, doesn't understand, what does he say in the 9th chapter? Avajananti ma muda manusam tani marsita param Bhavan Ajanto, what is it? Mama Bhuta Maheshwara. Okay, so I might have forgotten a line, but what does a translation say? Fools deride me when I descend, if they think that I have descended in human form. Okay, they do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord. So he calls them Muda, fools. Okay, and so that is why Krishna had to live in this world in such a mysterious way. Okay, because if I heard, I'll try and just one, if I take 1 or 2 minutes and try, and I heard this wonderful 2 3 reasons why Krishna left the world that way. Okay, because he says actually, when see, what did he say? Yada hi dharmasya. When he came, he established dharma. So dharma was so overwhelmingly powerful. When Yudhishthira Maharaj was thrown, all the Rakshasas were killed, no religion. Now Kali had to enter, right? Yes, if he's got all the 4 legs intact. So to pave way to Kali, Krishna had to live in such a way that it will puzzle who are not his staunch devotees. That is the reason number one. Now the reason number two, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, this is not what I am saying. In Kurukshetra, actually Kali Raj came very unnoticed, came and asked Krishna, oh, when will I take charge? Please let me know, my Krishna. I need you have given me certain duties I need to take. So the Lord had said that when my pastimes are over, your permission is given. Okay, so that is another reason. Last, now if imagine if Krishna left to Golok Dham in front of everybody, this neutral public will be there, right? General public, they'll also become bhakta. So how is that possible? If everybody becomes bhakta, whereas Kali Yuga has to happen, then all the fallen souls he had to pick back, right? The mercy is showing on us. So to increase adharma, this had to happen. So these are the 3 wonderful reasons I heard in that particular lecture. And I will just end with one last pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Now, this is way back in 1976, one magician came and somehow he got access so close to Prabhupada, he kept the hand near the ear and took some coins, gold coins, and somehow made them disappear also. Okay. Then all were laughing. Even Prabhupada was enjoying the magic. Then after all that, he asked the magician, "Oh, you made this disappear so beautiful. Can you also make these four things disappear? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi?" Then the magician bowed down. He said, "This, I'm sorry, Prabhupada, I can't do that." Then Srila Prabhupada said, my devotees, through their sadhana, they can actually make these four also disappear. So I'm also a magician. So lovely. All of them laughed, and it was a nice pastime I heard. I thought I will share that. So we should not misunderstand when Prabhupada writes, when Yudhishthira was lamenting the possibility of disappearance, it was just the pursuance of custom of lamenting disappearance of a great friend, but factually, Lord never quit his transcendental body as misconceived by less intelligent persons. Okay, so this is the way we need to, this what Mausala Leela is to be understood, not by our own senses, not by our own thinking. It has to be with taking shelter of these wonderful Shastras, wonderful books written by Srila Prabhupada, translations right from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's, all that has been carefully written so that I can at least understand these, and many like this. So we have a job not just to understand, also see that others read this and take advantage of this. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. This is a very tough subject. I tried my best. Please forgive me if I've done any mistakes in the entire process, and feel free to add any points. Hare Krishna.